somebody typed 4 letters into a search box: KKNP. The search box belonged to a dark web leak site run by a ransomware crew. 4 letters came back with 19,000 files, 14.3 gigabytes, engineering blueprints, the floor plan of a control room, and an insurance policy worth $112 million, payable if a specific building suffered an act of terrorism. KKNP stands for Kudankulam Nuclear Power Plant. It's the largest of India's 7 nuclear plants. The man who ran that search was an independent security researcher named Rakesh Krishnan. He wasn't working for the plant. He wasn't working for the government. He took what he found to Reuters, and on July 15th, they published it. That same night, India's Nuclear Power Corporation said the documents were conventional, the kind of thing you'd find in a coal plant. Inside Kudankulam, staff were telling the Hindu there was absolute commotion among senior officials who were completely clueless. Same files, 2 completely different stories, and by the time either of them was told, those files had already been sitting online for 5 weeks. Before anything else, the caveat that governs this entire video: Reuters reviewed the documents, and Reuters could not independently verify that any of them are authentic. Nobody official has confirmed a single page. Everything that follows rests on that. With that said, 3 things in the dump matter. The first is a set of purported blueprints for the ventilation and cooling systems of Unit 3 and Unit 4. The second is what appears to be the complete floor layout of a common control room. And the third is that insurance document, one that purports to show Reliance Infrastructure and the Nuclear Power Corporation held a policy paying out $112 million if Unit 3 or Unit 4 suffered an act of terrorism. What's not in there, as far as Reuters could tell, is anything touching the reactor cores. Those are Russian, supplied by Rosatom, and nothing in the dump appears to relate to them. So this isn't a leak of how to melt down a reactor. It's a map of everything around the reactor. How it's cooled, how it's ventilated, what the room where it's watched looks like, and what a successful attack on it is worth in dollars. Nicholas Roth, a senior director at the Nuclear Threat Initiative, told Reuters that files like these can show an adversary, in his words, not just who has access to the project, but which systems that access reaches. Now, the part that reframes everything: nobody broke into Kudankulam. The files came from a contractor. In 2018, Reliance Infrastructure won a public tender to build infrastructure for Units 3 and 4, both still under construction, both due online in 2027, together worth 2,000 megawatts. And Reliance Infrastructure's data was sitting on a server hosted by a third party, an Indian data center operator called Yata. Yata says it spotted suspicious activity on that server on May 29th. It says the activity was immediately terminated and the suspected ransomware execution was prevented. That sounds like the system worked. It didn't, because the group that took those files doesn't encrypt anything. According to the threat intelligence firm Halcyon, World Leaks appeared in January 2025 as a direct rebrand of a group called Hunters International, which shut down that July. Same operators, new name, deliberately different model. Halcyon describes it as data extortion only, an operation marketed on abandoning file encryption altogether, though some incidents have still reported encryption being deployed. The reasoning, from the group's own internal communications in November 2024, was blunt. Traditional ransomware had become too risky and too unprofitable. Law enforcement was closing in. Fewer victims were paying. So they stopped locking files and started only stealing them, which means Yoda was defending against the wrong thing. Blocking encryption stops a crew whose leverage is your access to your own data. It does nothing against a crew whose leverage is simply owning a copy. By the time anybody hit the kill switch, the copy was already gone. Reliance Infrastructure didn't tell Yada that external threat actors were claiming a breach until the end of June. The files had been public since June 11th, and this is run like a business. Halcyon describes 4 separate platforms: a public leak site, a negotiation portal with live chat and Bitcoin payment tabs, an affiliate management panel, and one they call Insider, which gives journalists 24 hours of early access to stolen data before it goes public. A ransomware crew with a press embargo system. The pattern is consistent. World Leaks has hit Nike and India's Tata Group. In June, they told Reuters they demanded $1.5 million for Tata files containing confidential component designs belonging to Apple and Tesla. Tata ignored them. The files went up. Their core operators have stayed anonymous for 4 years across 3 separate identities, even after the FBI infiltrated their predecessor's infrastructure. So, do you think Reliance was targeted specifically for the nuclear contract, or was Kudankulam just what happened to be sitting on that server? Tell me in the comments, because the official response only makes sense if you believe the second one. That response came late on the 15th from Pratik Agarwal, Executive Director of Corporate Communications at NPCIL. The argument is narrow and it's careful. The leaked material, it says, covers only the conventional balance of plant common service facilities for Units 3 and 4. Conventional in nature. The kind of thing you'd find in a thermal power station. Not related to nuclear safety or nuclear security systems. A separate senior official put it more simply: ordinary files, common to any power plant. On paper, that holds together. Here's the problem. Earlier that same day, sources inside Kudankulam were telling the Hindu something else entirely: that there was absolute commotion among the project's top brass, who were completely clueless about what had happened, and that the risk was that enemies could now map the plant's support systems and find its weaknesses. Not a foreign researcher, not a rival government. People inside the project. If this were genuinely a pile of boring paperwork, there'd be a press release and a shrug. Instead, the site director, the station director, and the plant's own public relations manager could not be reached for comment. And conventional is doing a lot of work in that statement. A cooling system layout isn't a reactor core, but cooling failure is precisely the thing that turns a manageable situation at a nuclear plant into an emergency. This is also the second time. In 2019, malware linked to a North Korean hacker group was found on Kudankulam's administrative network. The Nuclear Power Corporation said it was investigated immediately and that plant systems were unaffected. At the time, according to the Hindu, the corporation described its network as an unbreachable standalone network that no dark web could reach. 7 years later. Different attackers, different method. And the shape of the answer is almost word for word the same. Critical systems are fine. The affected systems were peripheral, nothing to worry about. CERT-IN, India's National Cyber Emergency Response Team, is investigating. When Reuters asked, CERT-IN didn't respond. Neither did the Prime Minister's office. The Department of Atomic Energy declined to comment. So here's where it stands. Nobody has claimed the reactors are unsafe. Nobody has proven the files are real. And nobody has explained how a contractor's server ended up holding the floor plan of a control room for a nuclear plant that isn't even finished. Every party has pointed somewhere else. Yada stopped the ransomware. Reliance confirmed a partial breach and notified the government. NPCIL says its systems are conventional. All three of those statements can be true at once, and it changes nothing because the outcome is the same. The files are still up. Rakesh Krishnan typed 4 letters into a search box and found the blueprints to a nuclear plant. He did it to warn somebody. Those 4 letters still work. Subscribe, and the next video is on screen.